All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. Now we're going to talk about conspiracy theories, idiots, Floyd Mayweather, and Logan Paul in this video. And that's it. That's all we're going to talk about, right? Because there's a conspiracy theory that's floating around the internet that Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather worked that fight. Not only worked it, but they had agreed in advance that they were both going to win in a draw. They were both going to come out the winners, and they agreed to that. And the reason we know that is because there's footage that's come out showing that Floyd Mayweather actually knocked Logan Paul out, but then he held him up as opposed to letting him fall and letting the fight end. And we have footage to prove it. Now, what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to go through about four or five channels where they take the footage and then they break it down, and I'm just going to give my analysis of their breakdown, which I'm pretty bullish. It's going to be pretty funny, but also we'll analyze whether or not there's any credence to this conspiracy theory. All right, that's what this video is going to be. Now, if you like the channel, subscribe and ring the bell. So anyway, so here we go. So we're going to start here with this first one, and this is the hot girl that I alluded to. Let's go. Boom.
Hi guys, it's Devin Howard. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can find me there as @DevinHoward. Double check that you've subscribed to The Fumble, tap the bell for notifications, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up button.
All right, obviously I just put that in there because she's a hot girl. I do like girls with green eyes. But let's do this.
When we heard that Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul were going to be duking it out, very few of us had any faith in Logan Paul. Despite the height and weight advantage that Logan was given, it was hard to imagine Floyd succumbing to an amateur fighter. But it also had a lot of us fully confused as to why Floyd would even choose to do this fight. The guy is loaded. He does not need the money.
Okay, let's pause there. My least favorite argument in the history of the world. Why would someone do blah, blah, blah? They're already loaded. They don't need the money. Okay, so, hi, let me just give you like a crash course on humanity. A person who's already loaded is a person who's motivated by money. So if you give a person the opportunity to make a lot of money, and it's something that isn't astronomically inconvenient or difficult, most of the time they're probably going to do it. So Floyd Mayweather was given the opportunity to make, I don't know, $30 to $60 million to go spar an amateur boxer on a pay-per-view. Who would not take that? Like I did that. I don't understand, dude. I don't understand. Of course he's gonna do it. And he says, "Oh, I'm done fighting after this." Bullshit. Why would he not fight Jake? Why would he not do another exhibition? Why? Why not take that money? Anyway, let's continue. So, boom.
But apparently lining his bank account was enough of a temptation for him. And it's looking like this whole thing was pretty staged and set up just to give Floyd and Logan a couple more mil. There was one point in particular that gave it away. Someone posted this to Twitter showing Floyd punching Logan in a pretty intense way. Logan looked like he crumbled to the floor, but Floyd actually holds him up to keep the fight going. Watch the clip right here.
All right, there we go. So that's the first time you're going to see the clip. We're going to go over it many more times. All right. So what did she say? She spoke in certain language. It turns out that it was staged, and it turns out that Floyd. Here's a clip of Floyd Mayweather knocking Logan Paul out and then holding him up. Otherwise, he would have been knocked out. She obviously didn't write this. I also love the part where she said, "Here's a picture of him punching him in a very intense way." Now that sounds like a professional fight commentator. I think I heard DC say that in the last, in the last broadcast. He's like, "Hey Joe, you see that? He really punched him in a very intense way." And Joe was like, "I thought that was intense as well, Daniel Cormier. Let's talk about people punching in an intense way." So my point is, not a very credible source, although good looking, and I would imagine that she probably didn't write that script, so whatever. All right, so we're gonna move to the next one, and this guy, I'm gonna warn you in advance, this guy's my favorite. He is definitely 100% my favorite. Let's go, boom.
I checked out the Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather fight, and all it did was prove to me that Jake Paul had no business being in the ring with Floyd Money Mayweather.
All right, let's pause there. First of all, it was Logan Paul. I like it though. Jake Paul had no business being in there with Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, the reason why I like this guy so much is because basically a part of this entire thing is going to be, do these people seem like credible fight analysts, right? Does this guy seem like a credible fight analyst? I know we're only going off his voice, but does that sound like the voice of a person who spent a lot of time in the octagon or the ring, right? Listen. The first time that I turned the TV on and I saw Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul in there, I knew it was just a matter of time before Floyd Mayweather was going to put him in the ground. Now that guy is so fast and so powerful, it didn't matter that he's 44 years old. It didn't matter that Logan Paul is 300 pounds and Floyd is like 109 pounds. It just doesn't matter. It's just a matter of time. He's going to put him in the ground. He's going to do it with a front kick or uppercut or whatever he wants to do. So, I mean, that's the kind of voice where I'm like, geez Louise, this guy definitely knows what he's talking about. You know what I mean? Now let's continue. Boom.
However, now some are claiming that the fight was fixed due to this video evidence. So let's check this out, then I'll give you my thoughts.
Oh, he's on the way down. He's on the way down for sure.
So the claim is that Floyd just knocked out Logan Paul right there, and he didn't let him fall down. He held him up for a little bit until he can get his bearings so that the fight could continue to go on.
All right, let's pause it right there, because thank you, guy, for using the word bearings so that I could say you like the bearings. He just wanted to hold him up so he could get his bearings. So yeah. So he thinks also that clearly is evidence that Floyd knocked out Logan Paul and then was holding him up to make sure that they were able to work this thing so that they would both work. Listen, you see that punch? You see Logan going down? Floyd's the only thing between him and oblivion. Just would have landed face first on the canvas, and then the fight would have been over. And then it would have been over, and then they couldn't have worked it together, you know? Let's go to the next one. Boom.
Immediately after the match, fans went on social media platforms to express their thoughts on the fight. Some went on to say that they were impressed that Logan Paul made it all 8 rounds.
Smart people.
Many were saying that the fight was a bit suspicious, meaning that people were kind of confused as to why there was no knockout.
Okay, let's pause there. So again, since we're just running through the credibility of the people who are proponents of this particular conspiracy theory, let's just go with there's a big group of people that were very shocked that there was no knockout. I mean, it's very suspicious. It's very suspicious that there was no knockout. And let me tell you why they're suspicious. Because it's Floyd Mayweather. I mean, it's Floyd Mayweather, man. And he's fighting against Logan Paul. It's Floyd Mayweather. He's a superstar boxer, man. He's got a big name. He should have been able to knock him out anytime he wanted to. You know, that 70-pound weight differential that's all muscle? Irrelevant. Why would that matter? Why would that have any impact on anything? Oh, Floyd's 44? I mean, come on, man. Like, these are factors that shouldn't matter, right? And then I go, why don't you just have Logan Paul fight Muhammad Ali? I mean, Muhammad Ali, he's the greatest, right? So he should be able to knock out Logan Paul. Well, he's dead. Oh, well, Mayweather's 44 and he weighs 70 pounds less than Logan Paul. So, but I thought that all that matters is that you have a big name in boxing. How about we get I don't know, name another dead boxer. You think Rocky Marciano could beat Logan Paul? Idiots. All right, let's go to the next one.
When many thought that there were several opportunities for Floyd Mayweather to knock Logan Paul out, but he just never did. This is something that is very frustrating for many, as the fight has been months in the making. From the beginning, people stated that it was clear that Mayweather did not agree to the fight because he wanted to knock Logan out.
So it seems clear that he didn't agree to the fight because he wanted to knock Logan out. Obviously, that's not what was going on there. He clearly didn't want to knock him out. He just wanted to do whatever. All right, let's go to the next part. Boom.
But would he have gone as far as holding up Logan Paul in the last couple of seconds of the fight so that they could both win? It seems that with a few seconds left in one of the rounds, Paul lunged at Mayweather and missed, and the boxing champ countered with a swift punch to the side of the YouTuber's head. After the hit connected, Paul appeared to go limp, but people on Twitter believe that this is something that is going unnoticed. However, instead of letting him fall, Mayweather appeared to have held him.
All right, pause there. So Twitter thinks that this has gone unnoticed. Well, it's lucky that you guys were paying attention, because now all the brilliant fight analysts on Twitter exposed this huge conspiracy that obviously this was at work. Logan Paul was unconscious, and little Floyd Mayweather held that enormous man up just long enough that he could get his bearings back, that he was able to get back his bearings. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Okay. But yeah, I mean, that footage doesn't look good, right? It looks like maybe. Now, hopefully you guys are like, you know, if you have even, I'm glad that I talked about everyone getting their information from the box, because if you are even moderately sensitive to manipulated information through the box, then you were instantaneously thinking what I was the first time I saw it. Okay, and we'll go over that in a second. But first, let's talk about this guy, this gigantic Magic the Gathering guy, who was like, "Oh, I'm positive that this." I don't want to step on it. Let's watch this guy now.
Fight. I wanted to watch Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather. I assumed this was going to be a murder on television. I'll be honest. I thought Logan Paul was going to be out right away. Everyone sort of predicted when the KO would come in. Would Floyd wait a few rounds to make it more interesting, make the money's worth, or would he just pound him out right away? Well, turns out he didn't do anything.
All right, pause there. So, yeah, I thought it was going to be a murder fest. I mean, obvious. Again, does this person look like he has a lot of experience fighting anyone? I mean, seriously, like, come on. I can't wrap my brain around how everyone thought that this was just going to be this super easy knockout. Now, I will admit that a lot of people probably had not seen any footage of Logan Paul moving around so that they would at least know that he's like a really, really good athlete who has been trained to fight for a long time. Like, I get that. But I just don't understand how anyone thought that, like, that enormous size difference was not going to matter as it relates to a knockout. I mean, Floyd did beat him. I mean, the punch stats were decisive. Floyd landed like 45% of his punches. Now, you know, that, whatever. Anyway, let's finish watching this guy be insanely confident, and then we'll actually watch the real footage.
But the reason they all did this was for money. Now, what I want to show here is to sort of echo it, this clip that's been going around. Watch this hit. Floyd KOs
this hit,
and then holds him up.
Floyd KO'd him.
There's the hit, and then there. Look at him.
Look how confident he is.
I mean, why didn't Floyd let him go to the ground? Watch that again. I'm pausing so we're giving commentary here. This is fair use because we're giving commentary on the game. It's a play-by-play of news. So there's a miss. Woo! He missed a lot, and then a bam! And then look at that. And then look at this. He's so big. So much bigger than Floyd. All Floyd had to do was let go.
All right, pause there. So that guy is very, very confident. Now, just for some insight there, this guy's channel, Popcorned Planet, they do movies. They don't do fight analysis. So he's another one. No experience with the fight. You know, he may as well be. Listen. When I first saw that punch and then I saw him holding Logan Paul up, I knew, I thought it was going to be a murder session. I thought he just didn't have to decide when he wants to knock Logan Paul out. It's just a matter of him making the decision, when does he want to knock him out, and then just doing it. Just executing on that. Because then, the fact is, when he held him up and then he let him get his bearings back, then obviously we know it's a lick. And listen, I'm unhappy that I bought this thing because it's obviously fixed and it's fake. Okay, so now we're going to watch the actual footage, because here's the deal. Now, if, like I said, you have any sensitivity to being manipulated through the box, what should have the first thing that you thought have been, which is the first thing that I did think, okay? Why am I looking at 1/3 of the frame? I mean, has anybody ever seen a boxing match before? Is that how much of the screen there is? Like, does you get to see like just the top half of people's bodies? I feel like there's another part of someone's body that relates to whether or not they're going to fall down. Gosh, what is it again? Gosh, I mean, a guy can bend over. I mean, like, so I can bend over at the waist and not fall down if my legs are under me. So, like, yeah, but like, where were my legs? So I could look like, if you only film from my stomach up to my head, it might look like I was falling down. Except if you could see my legs, I wasn't. So, like, you know, why would the legs be edited out? Right? Why would I not be able to see the legs? Seems like maybe someone's doing it intentionally. Right? So now let's watch the actual footage. Boom.
This is fucking annoying.
I agree.
I don't know why you people are watching this shit anymore. The point has been made. You've seen all you need to see. Move on.
That was a good shot there from Mayweather. It's not a frantic pace, and Floyd, he's putting pressure on with the feet. He's not really letting his hands go to.
Oh, weird. Oh, weird. He wasn't falling down at all. Look at that. Look at that. Who could have guessed that? Okay. So, like I said, conspiracies and idiots. So in this case, this was flat Earth. This was fake dinosaurs, right? This was not fake, obviously. Okay, anybody who wanted to see whether or not this is fake, all you have to do is just look at the punches that Logan Paul was throwing at Floyd Mayweather, right? Okay, like he's clearly trying to knock Floyd out, obviously. Now, the fact that he couldn't do it is because Floyd Mayweather is a defensive boxing wizard, even when he's 44 years old. But I just want to continue to go back that all of these people, oh, geez, you know, it's just surprising that there wasn't a knockout, man. Like Floyd Mayweather, I mean, how could he have not knocked him out unless it was a scam? I don't know. I mean, how come Muhammad Ali doesn't knock him out? Well, he's dead. Okay, well, Floyd is 44 years old and 130 pounds. So, I mean, there's that, right? There's that. Now, if someone wanted to say, is Floyd still a good boxer? And I said, well, I don't know. If he got to where Logan only landed like 12% of his punches, I think that would demonstrate that he's a pretty good boxer, right? Well, yeah, I guess so. Okay, well, that's what happened. So, well, why didn't he knock him out? I mean, outside of the 70 or 80 pound, weight difference and the fact that his hands have been broken 1,000 times and he doesn't punch for power, really. I mean, outside of those things, the only way he was going to knock him out is if he got Logan Paul tired enough that he was just falling apart, okay, which is what he tried to do. But Logan Paul was in good cardiovascular shape. So hopefully this puts this idiotic conspiracy theory to bed and sheds some light on conspiracies and idiots. And if you guys liked, how I sound talking about idiots and conspiracies, I have another channel, Jesse on Everything, and you can go watch things there. That is definitely the better channel. I mean, just without a doubt, that is my best channel. However, it is impossible to grow that channel organically because YouTube does not like people talking about politics. That's not just me. That's not that. The misconception is that people think that like they censor people on the right, they don't censor people on the left. That's not true. They just don't like independent political talkers. And I'm, like I said, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, but sometimes I talk about those topics. YouTube, they're not going to highly recommend it. They just don't do it. So anyway, if you like the content, subscribe and ring the bell. Love you guys. Peace.